All right, well, why don't we go ahead and get started then. Hi, everybody. I can't see any of you, just so you're aware. So I have no visual cues to go by whatsoever here. But I'm starting by showing you our fabulous new face masks from Off-World Designs. These are now available in the Off-World Designs store, and I highly recommend them. They're super comfy. So what I'm going to do today, I'm Helen Montgomery. I am going to be the chair of ChiCon 8, which is the Worldcon in Chicago in 2022. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to share my, my screen with you for a short, like 10-minute PowerPoint, and then at that point I will turn that part off, and so that way I'll be able to see everybody, and we'll just open up the floor for any questions that you have. So with that, I'm going to turn off my video so you're not distracted by me reading. All right, and I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully everybody can see this. So in late July, at Con Zealand, which is this year's virtual Worldcon, we were delighted to be chosen to host the 2022 Worldcon in Chicago, and we are officially known as ChiCon 8, the 80th World Science Fiction Convention. We will be held September 1st through 5th of 2022. Which is the Labor Day weekend in the United States. So we're going to be a Thursday through Monday convention. Pardon my pauses. I'm attempting to do the tech while at the same time. Goodness gracious. All right, I'm just not going to do any tech while I'm doing this. Okay. So we're going to be back at the Hyatt Regency Chicago for ChiCon 8. The Hyatt Regency was home to the last 4 Chicago Worldcons and is extremely excited about hosting us for a record 5th time. With the Hyatt, for those of you who've been there before, we are a convention under one roof. One site, 2 hotel towers, the convention center below. The Hyatt is located in downtown Chicago by the Magnificent Mile and the Riverwalk and the Loop, with lots of restaurants, shopping, and sightseeing nearby. Easy access for those of you who aren't in Chicago, easy access from both airports, Amtrak and Greyhound, and more information is available on the website. Our membership rate information is also available online on our website. I'm not going to go through the whole chart here with you, but I do want to say a couple of things. In setting our rates, we tried to keep them as low as possible for as long as possible in recognition of the economic impact of the current pandemic. So our current rates will be good through at least April 30th of 2021. Earlier this summer, we had announced that we would be having a family membership plan, but after extensive discussion, what we decided is that instead of offering a bundled plan, we would shift the categories around a little bit and just offer them at much lower rates, we hope that this will make it easier for families of all types and formations to attend. So we have adult, a young adult, teen, child, and kid in tow. We also are offering a first attending Worldcon rate. Now, this is a little bit different than in past years. So if you've only ever had supporting memberships for a Worldcon, or if you've only attended a virtual Worldcon like Con Zealand, and Chicago is the year that you want to make the leap to attending, you can purchase that level of membership. Okay, so it really is the first time you are going to be attending a Worldcon. So full details about all the membership types are on our website, as well as the link where you can buy one. We do have an installment plan option available. So we're finalizing the details of how it's going to work in terms of when payments will be and how much and all that. But you can lock in your attending rate now by purchasing a supporting membership and then just ticking the box that says installment plans. If you have a supporting membership from voting and site selection through Con Zealand, and you want to start an installment plan to upgrade to attending, you can email us at installments@chicon.org. Our registration and finance team will be in touch later by the end of the year with details about the plan. We do know that we're not going to be requiring any payments or anything until sometime later in 2021. All of the voter information is in our database. So if you go to our registration site, you'll be able to, if you voted and, you know, or if you've purchased a membership at any time, you can go to the reg site, put in your email address and double check all of your settings. We can take new registrations now. You can upgrade from supporting to attending. If you've got any questions or problems though, you can just email us at registration@chicon.org. Our guests of honor, we're super excited about our guests of honor. We have Charles DeLint as our author. Floyd Norman is our artist guest of honor. Edie Stern and Joe Ciclari are our fan guests of honor. And we are also honoring Earl Korshak as a guest of honor. Some of you know Earl. He was one of the folks who helped run the very first ChiCon. And so we are delighted to honor him as a guest this year as well. And then our Toastmasters are Annalie Newitz and Charlie Jane Anders. You can get involved. We'd love for you to get involved. We need lots of volunteers for lots of different level of jobs. So you can go to the website and fill in the volunteers form, and then we'll get in touch with you. We have jobs ranging right now, everything from you want to do something just at the convention to you want to be a division head and everything in between. So all of the different areas, whether you're a hospitality person, an events person, a program person, exhibits, you know, if you want to help behind the scenes with various things, I know we need some Ruby on Rails programmers, you know, stuff like that. Like I said, we need all kinds of volunteers. So we also know that there are folks who are anticipating wanting to be on program or registering to be in the art show or the dealer's room. So we've got some initial information on those up on our website. The art show and dealer's room information really won't be available until later in 2021. But there is some initial program information there for folks. Over the next couple of months, since we've won, this is what we've been working on, and we're going to continue to work on it. So we're finalizing some processes and policies. We're working on recruitment, and we're creating the timeline for the next 2 years, because that's going to be our map of what we need to do and when. We are working on creating the diversity and inclusion team. We've already taken some steps for that. We had hoped to have everything up and running in like end of September, early October, but like I think many people, most of us in the committee were also a little preoccupied in October and early November with this election and pandemic stuff going on. So we're a little behind schedule on that, but hopefully by end of the year. We're also working on creating some sort of financial assistance fund for attendees, and those we're starting to work on the details of how that's going to play. But that will be for anybody who's attending the convention, whether you're a program participant or staff or just a regular old attendee. So information on that, again, will hopefully be coming end of the year or so. And finally, just a future thing that we're going to be having is featured guests. So we've got our guests of honor, and we view that as kind of the Lifetime Achievement Award, right, for Worldcon. But we also want to invite some featured guests because the theme of Take to the Stars is really future focused, right? So we want our featured guests to be kind of the up and coming stars. And our goal is to announce who they will be during our presentation at DisCon 3, which is the 2021 Worldcon in Washington, D.C. Finally, just how to keep in touch with us. So our website is chicon.org. Both Facebook and Twitter, we are at Chicago Worldcon. Please do follow us there, especially without in-person events right now. That is absolutely the best way to find out what we're doing. We're not super active, but we're working on coming up with our schedule of when we're going to be posting what, so that we'll be a lot more regular in our postings. You could, of course, can always reach us at info@chicon.org. So on the website right now, like Progress Report 0 is out with more information about our guests and hotel and all that kind of stuff. We're continuing to add more information to our website and to social media. And yeah, that's pretty much that. So obviously we're looking forward to seeing everybody in 2022. We're currently planning for an in-person convention. So please stay safe and healthy, at least until then. And with that, I am going to go ahead and stop my screen share, and we can go ahead and take some questions. So if you have any questions, there is a Q&A panel. You can also put them in the chat to the side. I don't know, Evan is, well, I don't think there's a way to give you, I can't actually see people. I can't see the video in this view. So, so the only way to get my attention is going to be through the Q&A and the chat. So, question, all right, considering how recent the last ShyCon was, are there any major improvements or changes planned for ShyCon 8? So yeah, there are a lot of changes that have occurred already. So within the Hyatt, they've made some changes. They've done some renovations to the rooms and stuff. One of the biggest renovations, though, is their lobby, which is absolutely stunning. They took out, for those of you who remember, they took out the big I should start my video again so you can see me. Hi. They took out the big fountain that was in the middle of the lobby, and they've revamped it. So now there's a larger restaurant and a coffee shop and lots of comfy seating. And they've also added some additional function space, some programming room suites. They've done a couple of things, like we had an issue, one of the rooms that we had for programming in 2012 actually had stairs, so it wasn't accessible. That room is no longer in play. That's actually now a hotel office space. So every space now is completely accessible. If you were at ShyCon in 2012 and you had an access issue, by the way, we do have up on our website, we have a page where you can let us know about any accessibility issues that you had at the Hyatt in 2012. And, you know, if there are any issues that you want us to make sure that we're thinking about for this year, you can put those in as well. We do have a head of access. Her name's Katie Anderson. She worked on access for the Worldcon in San Jose. So we will be delighted to get information so we can help make it as good as possible. Those are the main physical changes to the hotel. Mike Riley, this was your question. So if you're curious about other things, let me know. I'm taking this more as a physical change. Nancy, you're asking where the masquerade will be held. The odds are very good that it will be in the grand ballroom of the Hyatt, so which is where it was last time. The grand ballroom would be our main stage. It seats a little over 2,000 people, and then what we did last time, and we would be planning to do again, is we would have sort of a second stage where we would stream anything on the main stage into the second stage, so that if there wasn't space in the main ballroom, there's still space where you can watch it. So we don't have anybody running the masquerade yet, though, so I can't give you any more details on the masquerade. Questions about museums. So things like special showings and talks at the convention, things like the Adler, the Bradbury Museum in Waukegan, etc. We are definitely planning to work on doing a number of things. So we are planning to invite all of the museums and whatnot to have an exhibit in our exhibit hall. And, you know, if they also want to have like a fan table kind of a thing so that they can talk to folks, that would be cool. And obviously, you know, if they have folks that they want to send to do presentations and that sort of thing, we absolutely would be happy to have them, and program will reach out to them. We're also looking at trying to set up things like tours for our groups to that would be held like before or after the convention primarily. So if folks are coming in early or staying afterwards for vacation, there can still be some group tours to places like the Adler or down to MSI or up to the Bradbury, that sort of thing. We have a question, any major events scheduled in Chicago at that time that we'll have to deal with? Usually not many. It's one of the reasons that we tend to end up on Labor Day weekend, actually. A lot of places, a lot of Worldcons have tended to move earlier into August. And the problem for us is August is so busy in Chicago that we can't get good hotel rates or the full space at that time, but we can get it for Labor Day. So there doesn't tend to be a whole lot going on that would be in competition with us. There's definitely cool things going on, like that's Jazz Fest weekend in Millennium Park, which is right down the street. So, you know, people can walk over and listen to free jazz music and all of that. So, but there shouldn't be much in the way of competition. If there are sporting events, so for example, in 2012, one of the things we did is we organized an outing for fans to go and everybody sit together and take in a Cubs game up at Wrigley. So if there are sporting events, you know, the soccer teams or the baseball teams or something, we'll probably work on trying to set up similar items. We don't pay for those. We do a system where, you know, we buy the tickets, but then you buy the ticket from us. So it won't be a freebie, but we would be happy to organize. Question about load in and load out, and have we made arrangements with the unions to make sure it goes smoothly? Yes. So in 2012, we had no union issues at all. Everything went swimmingly. It was great. And one of the things that we did in 2012, and we're doing again this year, is we have somebody on our staff facilities team that we call the speaker to unions. And this is somebody who is both Fanish and understands convention speak, but is also in a union and understands how unions work. And this year I am delighted to note that our convention chair from here at WindyCon, Evan Reeves, is going to be our speaker to unions this year. So we found that really helpful in 2012, and we assume it will be really helpful again this year. And we're excited to have him on board for that. And he is also actually the area head for our anime program. So yeah, so we don't have a lot of worries about load in, load out based on it going really well in 2012. So membership, yes. So you can go to our website and find, there's a page there for memberships. And then when you click on it, you'll go into the reg system. What you'll need to use is the email that you use. This is somebody who is a member of New Zealand and voted. So you'll use whatever is the email address you used to vote. That is what is in our system. So you can go into the reg system using that. It's the same as the New Zealand system, so you'll be very familiar with how that works, right? You put in your email, they send you a login, off you go. And at that point, you can upgrade or buy any new memberships. And if you have questions on registration or problems with it, you can email registration@chicon.org. And if at any point I'm answering these questions and I haven't actually answered your entire question, just throw another comment or question into the text. So Chicago Horror Society. I've attended some Chicago Horror Society events and have found there seem to be just a handful of folks who are heavily into the horror scene who also attend science fiction cons. Perhaps some marketing there. Absolutely, we would love to do that. If you have connections there and you want to help, please let us know. But for sure, you know, horror is part of the genre, right? So so yeah, you know, we would love to work with them. We really want to try to be in touch with Chicago groups, right? We want to get Chicago groups in. We want them to be able to have fan tables and exhibits. So like, you know, if the Chicago Horror Society wanted to come and have a table, if they want to put up an exhibit about what's going on in the horror genre in Chicago, that would be awesome, right? Any groups like that, if you have connections with them, please help point us to them, help connect us, help point them at us. We really, you know, the whole point of bringing people to Chicago for the Worldcon is to let them see what's going on in Chicago, and also to help everybody who's in Chicago really connect with all of the fanish awesomeness that's going on in town. So yeah. Let's see, question regarding DragonCon. We do plan to work with DragonCon again this year. In 2012, we did some cross program with them. where basically over, I think at the time it was Skype, I think it was pre-Zoom, but we had some folks who were in Atlanta for DragonCon and some folks who were in Chicago, but they were on the same panel. And there were live audiences in both rooms, and we streamed the Hugos down to them, that sort of thing. And we definitely hope to work with DragonCon again this year. So, people for tech. Hi, David. We do not have a head of tech yet. Our tech is going to be under the facilities division this time around. Our facilities division had a rather massive case of real life in October, pretty much like the entire month of October. So they're a little bit behind in recruiting. I do, however, know, David, that we have your volunteer form. So I anticipate you'll be hearing from people soon. That wasn't really meant to sound ominous. I think it might have sounded ominous. Sorry about that. Let's see. Rick Watterson, the Artemis Bridge Simulator and other stuff. So for Artemis, you're going to eventually want to contact our head of exhibits. We don't have one yet. But what I would do is send an email to info@shycon.org with your contact information, and we'll hang on to all of that and then pass things on to the exhibits person once they come in. Actually, I don't know if that would be exhibits or that would be gaming. Yeah, shoot it to info@, and I will make sure that it gets to both, and we'll figure out what the best option is for that. Let's see. Terry, museums, etc., outside the Chicago area, but still within the Midwest. A superhero museum in Elkhart. Ooh, that could be cool. I don't know that we would arrange anything for that, but we definitely plan, over the course of the next couple years to have a lot of tourism stuff up on our website, and I would love to include them. So Terry, if you want to shoot an email to info@shycon.org with that information, I would love to have it and put it into our ongoing Google Doc of stuff that will eventually be on the website. So, the Royal Manticore Navy is staffing up for our part of Worldcon. Help me understand. If you email info@ or pop over to the voice Discord after this, because who you would contact depends on what it is you're looking to do. If you're talking about parties, that's one thing. If you're talking about something else, that would be a different person. So, yeah, either shoot me an email at info@, and we can chat over there, or like I said, pop by the Discord when the panel's done. So. David, you're head of tech. I didn't say that. I just said he would be contacted soon. The primary hotel is still the Hyatt Regency. So as far as overflows, the Hyatt is now, we have about 2,000, we have, I think, just over 2,000 rooms at the Hyatt. Last time through in 2012, we did need to have an overflow, and we used the Sheraton across the river. My guess is that this time around, the Hyatt is now part of what they call the Millennium Collection or Millennium Group, something like that, which includes the Swiss Hotel and the Fairmont, and I think it's a Radisson, whatever that cluster is over there, and so they're part of a group. So if we have to get rooms elsewhere, then we would almost certainly be talking to those groups first, just because they do have a partnership with the Hyatt. We are definitely aware that, DisCon 3 has not made any decisions yet about whether they're going to be in person or virtual. Like everybody, they've been watching what's happening, and there was the recent announcements about vaccines and stuff. So, but we are aware that there is a possibility that DisCon 3 could go virtual, right? There's certainly a possibility that we could end up virtual, but we're really, really, really hoping not. But if DC goes virtual and we're in person, then we would be the first in-person Worldcon since Dublin in 2019. And we are very aware that that could hugely jump our membership attendance and everything. So we're definitely keeping an eye on that, with the recognition that we would need overflow hotel rooms, but we also might need to expand and use some of the function space in those connected hotels. All the hotels in that group are connected through the pedway. So we're kind of holding on decision making. We're going to start talking about that in January once we have a better sense of what's going on, especially with the vaccines. And but believe me, it is definitely in our on our radar. So this is an awesome question. Do you have a list of volunteer and area head positions that the public can view and perhaps volunteer for? We're working on putting one together. We do have, in fact, tomorrow is the day that we will be updating our committee list that goes on the website. I should have thought about having that done before today and apologize for that, but we had scheduled it to work on tomorrow. But there is a volunteer form, and if you pop in there and say, again, what are your areas of interest, right? So we have the kind of behind the scenes ones, if you're more into the especially the planning stuff. So we have facilities, we have hospitality, we have which is sort of behind the scenes, sort of, anyway, things like consuite and green room and whatnot. But there's facilities, there's member services, which is all the stuff like registration and accessibility, and helping folks with getting visa letters to come from a different country, and manning the info desk, and all that kind of stuff. There's the whole exhibit hall, which includes art show and dealer's room. There's all the special events, right? Your opening and closing ceremonies, your masquerade, your Hugo ceremony, theatrical productions, dances, live music. There's, of course, all the different programming panels. There's usually several hundred programming items at a Worldcon, so they need lots of folks there. And again, kind of let us know how much time you need, or you feel like you can spend with us, and we will work with you. Our head of volunteers is Alice Lawson. She's just getting onboarded now, but she was one of the co-chairs of the Worldcon in London in 2014, and so she's really familiar with Worldcon and stuff. And part of her remit is to talk to folks who they know they want to volunteer and help, but they don't really know what they want to do. And so part of her job is actually sort of being a job coach in a way, and chatting with folks and finding the right fit for them. And I'm also happy, if you pop over to the Discord, I'm happy to have conversations with you about it as well afterwards. But as the con chair, for me, one of my primary goals for people is that whatever job you're doing, it should be something that you're excited about, and it should be something that you find fun. Because inevitably there are going to be speed bumps, right? It never fails, right? But if it's something where you're like, I'm super excited to help do this part, this is so much fun, this is cool, I'm working with people I really like, that's going to help you get past the speed bump. So we want to try to make sure that we find a good fit for you. And if it turns out we fail at that and the thing isn't a good fit for you, we'll move you, right? If you're like, yeah, this is not my jam, no worries, just talk to us, let us know, and we can move you someplace else. It's totally fine. If real life intervenes and you're like, I can't do this anymore, or I need more help in order to do this now, again, let us know. We are happy to make that happen. Everybody who works on the convention is a volunteer, so we totally get that. So that was a really long answer to your question. Hopefully it was complete. Who's in charge of programming? Our programming division head is Enchanter, and they are based out of Boston. Been heavily involved with Arisia for a long time, as well as several Worldcons. So Enchanter is the division head, and their deputy division head is Ian Stockdale out in California. Ian was the division head for program for Dublin 2019, and he was one of the deputy division heads for program in London for 2014 as well, and is awesome. So, and they are currently recruiting various teams and people at this time. So, would you be able to use the suites for function space similar to how the writer's room was set up at Capricorn this year? Possibly. We do have the corkage waiver and all for suites and everything. There may be some that are very good for setting up like workshops and things like that, but that hasn't been decided. Space allocation is primarily set up to happen in January, at least the initial space allocation. So we'll be looking at that time as what all suites do we have. We also want to be careful because the suites are where parties and stuff will be. And you know me, I'm a Capricorn person, parties are a thing. So we want to make sure we save enough suites for all of the parties that we know we're going to have and are going to be amazing. So, but we would definitely look at whether or not there are suites that make more sense to use them as function space versus parties. So, hi, Ray. Oh, Ray, I don't know if you were here at the beginning, but I showed off your mask because it's awesome. Look at that. Oh, Ray from Off-World Designs. Go buy a mask. Are you planning on the art show to be in the same general area as the dealers area? Probably not. We will probably set it up similar to what we did in Chi-Con 7. The lighting in the exhibit hall is kind of crap for art shows. Is one problem. I mean, the ballroom's not spectacular either, but it's a little better. But it also has to do with if we do it in a ballroom, then we don't have to have the decorator and all be the ones to put it all together. So there's some pieces in there as well about us being able to set up things the way we like in the art show, and artists being able to hang their own art and things like that we can do if it's in a ballroom, but we can't really do if it's in the exhibit hall. Hope that answers that question. We're out of questions. Are there other questions? We've got about, what, 10, 15 minutes left, I think. Any questions I haven't answered? Things you want to know more about? All right, well, well, let me talk a little bit then more about volunteering. While I have you here captive with me. So we're looking for a couple of things. Oh, wait, food around the hotel. Rick, do you mean like restaurants, or do you mean corkage, or food or restaurants in the hotel? Tell me a little bit more what you mean by that. For volunteering, like I said, we need tons of people. We still have some division head positions available, so particularly things like hospitality and exhibits. We need a lot of help with promotions. So normally promotions is a bit broader, but right now promotions is huge about like, is huge as far as social media. So if you're a social media person, if you're somebody who likes to spend a lot of time on social media but doesn't like interacting with people, we actually have jobs for that. We need people to monitor various hashtags and things like that and just feed us information, right? That the team who does like interacting with people can talk to. So those are definitely some areas that we really need help with right now. So, all right. Goodbye, Mike. Thanks for coming. So restaurants, food court, cost and distance. So, it's right in the middle of downtown Chicago. So there's a gajillion restaurants around. There isn't, as far as I know, a food court per se really nearby, but like, it's close enough you can walk over to Navy Pier, anything that's, along Michigan, the Mag Mile, Michigan Avenue and stuff. There's just so many hundreds of restaurants and foods and stuff there. So, and at every price point. you know. The hotel itself has the steakhouse. It's got their sort of general place called American Craft. That's kind of the general hotel restaurant. It has a new place called the Living Room, which has like bar food and drinks and really super comfy seating and a big fireplace, and it's really cool looking. So there's lots in the hotel as well as fairly nearby. So, and again, all price points. So con suite, free food, cash bar, thing like last time, or something else. So, oh, thank you. Apparently there is a food court in the Illinois building, which, if I'm remembering right, is part of the Pedway attached to the Hyatt. So, and there's also a Mariano's nearby that does meals and has a hot food bar and stuff like that. Cool, thank you all. I should note I'm no longer technically in Chicago. I live in Seattle now. So anything that's changed, and I have been, the last time I was in Chicago was Capricorn, y'all, and that's really weird for me. I'm normally in Chicago like every month, even since I moved out here in 2017. So it's very strange. Question, oh, Consuite, yes, there was the question. The combined free food cash bar thing like last time. Probably. The Consuite will be a lot more like, you know, it's not going to be providing meals, right? That's not going to be the purpose. But, you know, there will be lots of grab and go stuff and soda and stuff. We would probably do a cash bar in the Consuite if people want to grab drinks. I don't know, a lot of people didn't really take advantage of that last time, that we actually ended up closing it early because people just weren't buying stuff. So that will be something we'll talk to the hotel about. But we are, you know, we will have the Consuite. There will be a staff den and green room as well. So green rooms for program participants, staff den is for anybody working the con, with, you know, some free food and bev available there as well. So, but one of the things that is very different than in the past, hot food prep in hotels is pretty much non-existent nowadays. So, so definitely don't be expecting a lot of that. that's just not gonna be a thing. I wish it were. And Barbara says, fair warning, some of the restaurants in the food court near the hotel permanently closed. This sadly does not surprise me. I know we're seeing a lot of that, and you know, a lot of downtown areas are seeing that right now because of COVID. So, you know, obviously we'll be checking in with things closer to the date and putting in a more having an up-to-date kind of restaurant guide and whatnot. So we do have somebody who's interested in working on the restaurant guide and putting that together, not just for the downtown area, but they really want to put together a restaurant guide that, if people want to go exploring in Chicago and go to different neighborhoods to be able to see what's around, because Chicago is such a foodie city, right? You know, yes, there's a ton of stuff downtown if you don't want to be leaving the hotel and all, but for folks who are coming in early or leave, or, you know, staying longer again, and they want to go and explore, one of the things she wants is to make sure that people know these are some really cool, you know, restaurants, even though, you know, yeah, you got to take the L or, you know, rent a car or whatever. But she's a foodie and wants to make sure that the foodies are taken care of. So, discount on hotel parking rates. It will be 50% off whatever the 2022 parking rate is. The parking rates at the Hyatt, y'all, they're stupid expensive. We know it. There are parking lots nearby, particularly the one under Millennium Park, that you can get to off of Columbus, and they're so much cheaper, especially for multiple days. So we will make sure we provide lots of parking information for folks. But if you do choose to park at the Hyatt, it is valet only. It is stupid expensive, but it will be 50% off the stupid expensive. So it'll only be like a little stupid expensive. So We've been given the 10-minute warning. I don't currently have any more questions. Other questions? Things that you're wondering about, concerned about? So as I said, I will go over and hang out in the voice Discord for about an hour. Yeah, the Millennium Park Garage, and then also the Grant Park Garage, right? If you go a little bit further south, the Grant Park Garage is a great bargain. And, you know, in theory, the weather should be quite nice. So, you know, if you go to the Hyatt, you unload everything and then you go park, it's actually a really lovely walk to get back there. So at least while you're like walking up Columbus, once you get into Lower Wacker and everything, it's not as nice, but, but folks will figure it out, right? Just make sure you park legally so that your parking space isn't on Lower Wacker in the Pound. That would be bad. So, all right. Well, yeah, if there's any other questions, type them in. I will hang out here for the next, I think we have like 7 minutes left. So if questions come up, if there's anything else you want me to tell you more about, we have tons of plans, you know, in order to find out about volunteering, do you need to join? No, you do not. That is an awesome question. You do not. So you don't need to be a member of the convention to be volunteering right now. If you want to attend, you will eventually need to buy a membership. There is a staff rate. So right now, the attending rate, that will stay the staff rate, right? So eventually that rate will go up for people who are attending. We're trying not to do it much though. We know that people right now, we know things are rough right now. So we're going to try really, really hard to keep the rates as low as we can. But the staff rate will never go up. So even if you come on as a staffer, you know, 3 months before the convention, you'll still get the cheaper rate. If you want to volunteer, even if you don't know that you're going to be able to come to the convention, feel free, you know, that's totally fine. You do not need to have a membership to in order to volunteer. So is there a page on the website up where people can look up their membership status? Yes. So on the website there is a list of members. You can also go to our reg site. So if you go to the chycon.org, click on memberships, and then there'll be a place that'll say like join now. Click on that. And if you think that you have a membership, even if you don't see your name listed, put in whatever the email address is that you think you would have used to buy a membership. Or if you voted in site selection at Con Zealand, whatever the email address is that you used for that would be it. And then you can go in and see what your status is. If you voted in site selection at Con Zealand, you automatically have a supporting membership for the convention. If you were a friend of the bid and you voted in site selection, you automatically have an attending membership. If you were a friend of the bid and you forgot to vote, there is also a special rate. Basically what you're paying is the equivalent of the voting fee in order to upgrade to attending, right? So yeah, so all of that information is there on the website. 5 minutes, only 5 minutes left. So, y'all, we're so excited. We're so excited we won. We really can't wait to bring it back. I'm super excited to be the chair. It's like at ChiCon 7 in 2012, Dave McCarty, who was the chair of that one, and we were on the escalator. We were on the escalator heading down into the exhibit hall. And he turns to me, and this was on, I don't know, like Friday or something, or Saturday of the convention, right? And he turns to me, it's like, so, ChiCon 8? And I went, yeah, ChiCon 8. He's like, you're going to chair? And I said, yeah, I'm going to chair. So this has been in process since before ChiCon 7 even ended, right? we loved doing it then, and we're super excited about coming back now. And I'm the chair. I've got some awesome advisors, some great folks on staff. You know, some great division heads and awesome people to work with. And it's going to be really cool. And we're so hopeful that it's going to be in person. And we just can't wait. It's going to be amazing. So, Rick Watterson, we all learn eventually how to say no. No. See, I know how to say it. So, Mike says you're looking forward to attending. I'm hoping everybody is. I mean, we're super excited and so many cool ideas. But we need people to make those cool ideas happen. So even if you're like, well, I'm not like a really creative person and I don't really understand how it all works and stuff, but if you give me a task, I can get it done. You're my person. Please volunteer. So, you know, even everything needs volunteers. So, all right. So Evan, I think we're about done. I think we're at time, close to time. So with that, thank you all for coming in and hanging out and asking some really awesome questions. And like I said, I will be over on the voice Discord for the next hour or so. And we have a text one there as well. So even if I'm not on the voice Discord at any point, you can ping me directly through Discord. I do check my Discord account all the time, actually. So even after Breezycon is over, you can reach me through Discord. You can comment in the ShyCon text channel, all of that. So we are pretty easy to get in touch with. So thanks, everybody. And I'll see you over on the Discord. Have a great rest of your Breezycon. Stay safe. Remember, you need a mask. Off-world designs. All right. Thanks, everybody.